Well, good evening, parents of St. Gabriel students. John Borgen here. I'm the parent of Elijah, a seventh grader, and twins Abraham and Isaiah, currently in fourth grade. I also have the pleasure of serving on our finance council at St. Gabriel Parish. And thanks to the Zoom technology, I'm able to join you for a brief financial and fundraising update as part of back to school night. Sorry that I can't be with you in person, but I'll hope to make this as engaging and informative as I possibly can. Something we did last year and was, I guess, fairly well received. And so happy to be able to do it again. I want to, just put a little context by talking about the 2023-2024 budget. The budget for the fiscal year that just ended. Our fiscal year kind of coincides with the school year. We're on a July 1 to June 30th fiscal year. And so we have about a $2 million operating budget for St. Gabriel. The school is one of many ministries of St. Gabriel, but it is also the ministry that we simultaneously invest the most in and that costs the most. So as you can see, about 61% of the parish budget goes toward operating St. Gabriel Parish School. Of that total, now no surprise, 75%, three quarters of that is related to salaries and benefits. Also, probably no surprise, tuition only covers half of the cost, and maybe I shouldn't be so quick to say that is no surprise. Sometimes parents will say, "Well, I'm paying X, and you are," and we don't take that for granted. It's significant, but you have to step back and realize that from a cost perspective, it covers less than half of the cost. So how do we fund the rest of that? Well, it's made up through a combination of support from the parish or a parish subsidy and fundraising. And I think this statistic or this fact down here at the bottom really provides some additional helpful insights based on last year's numbers. Total cost, if it was to be completely paid for through tuition, would have been just over $9,100. So without the parish support, without fundraisers, that's what it would have been. So let's take a look now at our current budget. And these numbers stay pretty constant, 60% of the parish budget being invested in St. Gabriel School. 71% of the school operating budget goes to salaries and benefits. Tuition, again, covering about 45% of the cost of education. But where you see a little difference here in the 24-25 budget is that the parish subsidy is actually increased year over year, while fundraising decreased on a percentage basis. I would also point out in any one year, these numbers move within these exact ranges. I have yet to have seen it drop below 30, and only once did it go slightly above 40. The bogey, the target for a healthy financial revenue portfolio or an expense portfolio for a school in the Archdiocese of Milwaukee is generally 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Tuition covering a third, support from the parish being a third, and fundraising being a third. But in any one given year, that can ebb and flow. And you can see as costs have gone up, which they do every year, the cost without support from the parish or fundraising would have been over $9,200 for this fiscal year. So the 2023-2024 fundraising budget, we begin with a high level number of $280,000, and then we back out some additional revenue that we receive from grants or multi-year designated gifts, the regular envelope program, to come up with the number that we need to raise vis-a-vis fundraisers. And that totaled for this past fiscal year $183,000. When you then look at our results, we had major fundraisers, and those major fundraisers were the pizza sale, the auction, readathon, Catholic Schools Week, and Script. We raised $142,000. Now, I wasn't a math major, but I think you can see where I'm going with this. If our plan had us raising 183, got revised then based on some actuals to be 172, We only raised 142. We had a shortfall there, um, compared to the 183,000 of $41,000. So this year, what do we got? What does this look like? We have a goal, a budget goal, which means it's not just, oh, geez, we'd like to, but we need to raise $191,000 via fundraisers. So, how can you help us meet this goal? Well, that's what the remaining portion of this presentation covers. Getting involved, building community and culture, and making a difference. For some families, you've been a part of St. Gabriel for a long time, so this will be a familiar frame of reference. For others, you're new to our community. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to St. Gabriel and investing in your child's future with a St. Gabriel education. I can tell you, as a parent of now an almost eighth grader, it's been one of the best decisions that Katie and I have made. But that old expression, many hands make for light work, we need to do this as a community together. We all know the old 90-10, 80-20 rule. And when you're a community of our size, having 90% of the work fall on 10% of the families, that's not sustainable. And so each one of us needs to do our part. Those of you who've heard me say this line when it comes to our capital campaign efforts, if each one of us does our part according to our ability, we will be extremely successful. But we all have to do our part. So, how can you get involved? Time, volunteering. This isn't just financial commitment. Your time is very valuable. We all know that. Coaching, selling concessions, lunchroom, playground, script, volunteering, getting involved. That's one of our asks. And I've got a few more words to say about that in just a second. Check I Volunteer. Lots of different opportunities are being posted there all the time. Talent. There are many committees that you can serve on, and it doesn't always require, major time commitments. Many of the volunteer opportunities are what I would call episodic volunteerism. It's for a particular fundraiser, a particular committee. It has a specific shelf life, if you will. And it also, quite frankly, folks, it requires some basic organizational skill. At the end of the day, right, we're not doing brain surgery or rocket science. We're organizing some sales or some fundraising activities for the benefit of our kids, our community. This second bullet point is one that I think sometimes gets overlooked, and it could potentially be one of the biggest impactful things that we can all do. I was involved on the St. Gabriel Finance Committee, back when our school was reaching a pretty small numbers, where we questioned its viability. Since that time, all we've done is grow student enrollment year over year. That's a testimony to our outstanding faculty, our teachers, the product that we are offering. It is a testimony to our new facility, where parents who may have overlooked us in the past are taking a closer look. And it's a testimony to you. No one, there's no amount of marketing money, okay? There's no amount of advertising that will ever be as impactful and have as high of a return as the advocacy that comes from current parents. And so, with a fixed cost budget, right? And 75% of those costs are fixed, right? Faculty, teacher salaries, and benefits. Every additional student reduces that incremental cost. And so the fact that we've been able to grow to now 141 students is outstanding. We built our facility with an eye to being 150 to 160 students. On average, 16 students for each of the 10 grades that we currently have. And we've made great progress toward that. Your ability to help recruit new families has one of the biggest positive impacts on the school and St. Gabriel Parish budget. So be that passionate ambassador for our school community. Help us to recruit new families. And finally, treasure, time, talent, treasure. Participating in fundraisers, making a direct donation, inquiring about employer matches, maybe making a donation to the school endowment fund. That's part of a long-term play, but it all adds up. It all makes a positive impact. So, new this year, there is an expectation. It existed at one point in time. It disappeared for a while. It's back. It's the right thing because it's not fair to the families who step up time and time again. Every family needs to volunteer at least 10 to 15 hours per school year, and there are so many opportunities. So, you don't have to do it all in one, although it's possible to. Somebody wants to get involved with the auction, you'll knock that out just in that fundraiser. That works for some families. For others, it gets spread out throughout the year by taking a lunchroom shift every month. So you do you, but we need you to get involved. Okay. So what's new in fundraising? Thanks to having a human resource focused on this, and Connie Helm, who you're going to hear from and see as a part of this evening's presentation more. We're working on laying the foundation to do some things better in the area of fundraising, improving our efficiency, reducing the number of fundraisers, instituting a process, because they're all born of good intentions. But we've also experienced historically fundraiser fatigue, where it seems like every time you turn around, there's another one. We're trying to do away with that and focus on communicating the results and impact of your donations. So some new ideas, calendar raffle, you're going to hear more about that. Bingo, fish fry, script. Connie's got some really good ideas, and we look forward to seeing those be implemented and come to fruition. And she's already off and running, exploring external grants or grants from external resources. So that's what she's doing, okay? Where you can really, really help are in these four events here. The Catholic Schools Walk, October 19th, the Boutique, the auction, and readathon. Let me just say a word about the Catholic Schools Walk. Actually, I think I've got a slide here. We've got the calendar raffle and flea market. Those are the two largest fundraisers for the parish. We're asking every family, all right, this is a new fundraiser, to sell 10 calendars, and they can be purchased online. That would account for 810 of our parish's goal of 2,000 sold, so 40%. The flea market always needs volunteers to be successful. Come out, help, have fun. Again, check I volunteer. Now, I mentioned the Catholic Schools Walk, and yes, there's going to be a date, October 19th, immediately following the Saturday Mass, a new and exciting theme. There's a QR code where you can learn more about this. This is a fundraiser that in my day job, I've been a longtime supporter of. Catholic Financial Life has. And we've done this in such a way where corporate donors, organizations like Catholic Financial Life and others, underwrite the total cost, which means 100% of every dollar donated not only goes to the walk, but it stays at St. Gabriel. So there isn't money that's being siphoned off going elsewhere. 100% of what is raised stays here at St. Gabriel. And in the donor community really has worked hard to make that a reality because we know then the money is benefiting directly the schools and thereby the students. So I highly encourage you, make good on this one. Let's make this our best Catholic Schools Walk ever. And I am confident that when we lean into that message that all of the money stays here, it directly helps Johnny, Susie, Billy, etc. That's a message. It's a resonating message, and it's an easy fundraiser to implement and raise funds for. Script. This is another one, and this is one that has double benefit. Purchasing that physical or digital gift card, rebates average 3 to 5%, half of the earned rebate directly credited to your tuition. The other then helps us achieve our fundraising goal. You can get it after weekend masses or during school offers. Set up an online account at raiseright.com. Again, here's another opportunity to volunteer. Come to church on the weekend, help sell script after mass. It's an easy way to volunteer. If you think about it, if you do a little bit of planning, I've seen people really leverage this to their personal and thereby the school and parish's benefit. If you plan it out and you do just things like how you pay for your gas, how you pay for groceries, and anytime you're giving a gift, I've seen people get thousands of dollars toward the cost. It's all about planning, though. So I highly encourage you. It's another easy one that frankly doesn't come at a cost to you. It comes at a planning time commitment to manage cash flow appropriately. There are other tips from other parents, so I'm not going to go through those for you right now, but they reference taking a vacation, purchasing supplies for business, gift cards for employees, things like that as some ways to additionally make an impact with script. Stay tuned for extra bonuses throughout the year to increase your rebate. The auction. The auction, one of the largest fundraisers that we have. Online bidding begins on Friday, the 21st of February. Excuse me, I don't know if it's a Friday, but I do know that it's February 21st. And the gala itself is on March 1st. New committee structure, roles, many of these tasks can be done from your home and on your own time. So this is always a very, very fun event. Mark it, put it in your calendar, and make a point to be there. But please do your part in helping it to be a success, whether that's working with decorations, working on invitations, soliciting gifts, picking up gifts, putting together baskets, selling raffle tickets, you name it. There's an opportunity to be involved in this for everyone. The donation support chair is Liz Ploff. Our event chair is Rebecca Hartzell. Thank you, ladies, so very, very much. We have subcommittees for raffles, acquisitions, and decorations, three of the things that I mentioned earlier. So please look to iVolunteer for those opportunities to get involved. All right, friends. Well, thanks for hanging in there with me. That was a lot of information in a short period of time, but I hope it's giving you an appreciation for the gift that our Catholic school is, supported by our parish. Thank you for all who are involved and who donate their time, talent, and treasure. We wouldn't be able, many families would not be in a position to be able to afford a St. Gabriel education for their children were it not for the support of the parish at large and for these fundraisers. You know, as I've said before, the tuition only covers about half of that cost. And so it's an exciting year. We're experiencing, continued growth in our student body. A big, part of that is the great work that our teachers do, that our principal has done in assembling this current faculty, and the programs that are in place. As we seek to make an even bigger impact to improve the quality of our faith-based educational offering, your work in supporting these fundraisers, your work in volunteering, and your work in getting the word out is what makes the difference. So thank you. Good to be with you. I hope you have a great rest of the evening. God bless. Good night.